Hello everyone, now we're going to start our presentation about assessment and evaluation for age from birth to 5. First, we would like to acknowledge this land that we meet today is the traditional lands of the Ghana people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with their country.
In our presentation, we will talk about assessment and evaluation, formative and summative assessment, the role of documentation and documentation types, assessment and evaluation across professions, and transition to school. Before we start, I would like you to discuss in your group for 1 minute why do we need assessment and why is it important. What is assessment and evaluation? According to Department of Education, Employment and Workplace Relation, assessment and evaluation is an important part of teaching as educators use them throughout pedagogical practices where educators develop and implement active teaching and learning environments for children's learning, development, and well-being, and engage family and community in effective and purposeful relationships. Assessment and evaluation are used for many purposes and have multiple forms. The purpose of assessment is to help educators make appropriate instructional decisions about how to best teach children. Assessment of each child's learning and development is essential because it allows educators to plan effectively, communicate about children's learning and progress, determine the extent to which all children are progressing, identify children who may need additional support, and evaluate the effectiveness of learning opportunities, reflect on pedagogy and practice that will suit individual children. There are 2 assessment types that are commonly used in early childhood, birth to 5, formative and summative assessment. Formative assessment is what we typically see in most early childhood services today. It is the process by which a teacher observes a child or children learning and develops strategies and new learning opportunities that will further promote new and or extend learning. As you can see the image, this is what an early years planning cycle looks like, which consists of observed, analyze, plan, act, do, reflect, and evaluate. EYLF is a key process used in early childhood services. First, you observe or collect information, then you analyze on what learning occurred based on the observation. You then plan learning opportunities to extend the learning, and act to the learning opportunities. Lastly, reflect and evaluate the learning opportunities. Summative assessment is basically a summarized reporting of a child's progress and achievements. There are ways these are done, such as letters to families, school reports to folios. However, some reporting formats that are mandatory, such as production of transition statements, which are forwarded unto primary teachers by kindergartens immediately prior to starting school. Summative assessment has an important role in the overall educational progress of the student, but not in day-to-day as does formative assessment. All types of assessment strategies contribute to assessment for learning and development, but their intended purposes need to be considered. Are they formative or summative? We will now show you an example of an observation video of an interaction between the educator and the child. We want you to observe how the educator handled the situation and what learning experience is happening.
When he's done, probably. How can you get one? Let's think. Angela, I'll help you 1 second, okay? Let me help Alex with this. What can we say? Oh, Josh, Alex wants to tell you something. Look, Josh, his fire truck is missing a guy. If you're not ready for Alex's turn, what can you say to Alex?
I'm not done yet.
And what else can you say?
I want one.
You can say you can use it when I'm done.
You can use it when I'm done. And I
Okay.
want one now.
I know that you want one now, but right now Josh needs 2 for his play. But when he's done, he will give you one. I hear you. I hear that you want one now. We have to wait.
Please scan the QR code to see a sample of an observation form that we have created to assess and evaluate the interactions.
Records of children's assessments and evaluations can be effective ways to support and extend children's thinking, learning, and development. Now I'm going to talk about how we can capture or document children's learning and make their learning visible. These are some popular types of documentations, such as photos and videos, jottings, running records, and anecdotal records, and journals. Journals are a familiar way of documenting children's progress by collecting their drawings, writings, cuttings, and other items. Learning story is a narrative of recognizing and describing the learning that is taking place through a child's play. On the bottom right corner is the example of floor books. It is called a floor book because the book is used on the floor so that the children have close access to it. Floor books are designed to be a large size to allow children to gather around them and engage in a learning dialogue around the content of the pages. As educators, we should view documentation as an important part of our work with children and families, and as part of a cycle of observation, analysis, planning, implementation, and reflection.
Now I would like you to observe the second part of the video and try to take notes as you watch it.
To have a calm word so he can understand us. Okay, let's go talk with Josh about why you need one. So Alex, what do you want to say to Josh?
I wanted that paper because I'm not done yet.
Okay, but listen to why he needs one. Can you tell him why you need one?
I
Why?
want one.
Okay, why do you need one for this toy? Can you show Josh?
I want
Like a what?
like a Max G.
Oh, you want to do it how Max G was playing with it this morning. Okay. So Josh, let me help Alex out a little bit.
I'm not done yet.
I know you're not done, but look, Josh, one of those guys fits right here, and Alex feels like he needs the rest of the toy. So do you want to play together with Alex? Maybe we can set up so you guys can drive away together. Do you want to do that? No, you don't want to do that? Let's go find another person. Let's see if we can find someone else to fit. Come on, come on, Alex, let's see what we can do while we wait. I know, but Josh isn't ready. He's working on something and I don't want to interrupt. I know, but let's see. I know. Another one. Do you think this person will fit? No. Will he fit in there? No. Okay. He's got a little hole. No. Okay. Let's see. How about this girl? Do you think she'll fit?
No.
No. Okay. How about this girl?
No.
She won't fit?
Like the fire.
Just a fireman? I don't think I have any more. Oh, look. Here's a Lego fireman. He's got a white fire hat. Do you think he'll fit? Should we go try?
No.
Look, he sits. You want to go try? I can help you try. You don't want to try. I know. It doesn't go. Do you want to take a break from the fire engine and play with the trash truck while you wait for Josh? Yeah, okay, let's do that. Put that guy there. Okay. So when I'll make sure that Josh gives you a turn. You gonna do this now? You wanna do trash truck? Okay. Here you go. Oh, let's grab you a tissue. Let's see. Where did they go? Oh, they're over here. So Josh, when you're finished, will you please give one of these to Alex? Oh. Your Huga Pele?
Yeah.
Huga Pele, whenever you're finished with those firemen, will you give one to Alex? Thank you. When you're finished, Alex is waiting.
As an educator, how would you extend his learning experience? In the video, it shows how the educator handles the situation and turns it into a learning experience. We have provided a QR code that will direct you to a Google form which you can fill and choose which outcomes are being achieved according to the EYLF document. You have 3 minutes to complete the activity. Early childhood educators need to build partnerships with other professionals outside the education sector. Who are these other professionals? Some of the examples are maternal and child nurses, speech pathologists, child psychologists, special educators, and social workers. Since they all have different assessment criteria and goals, this can help early childhood educators to determine appropriate activities for children and the assessment for, as, and of their learning. They help educators to inform about the functional capacity for everyday living and children's strengths and interests. This is even more important for children with disabilities or special situations, as we educators might have limited knowledge about the condition and need to gain deeper insight. Moreover, it also builds a shared understanding and consistency of practice about child's learning and development across professions. Educators also need to build partnerships with families because that's where children spend most of their time, and parents can provide valuable inputs to enrich child's learning.
Early childhood teachers and educators in most states and territories of Australia use specific assessment tools to support children's transition from early years to a primary school. Some states use transition statements, which are usually completed by both parent and teachers. They may include children's strengths, abilities, interests, learning styles, and needs. Because there is no specific transition statement form in South Australia, we will show you a video about the transition to school statement in New South Wales.
Starting school is a major event in the life of children and their families, and it's made easier when information is shared between families, early childhood services and schools. This can help build strong relationships and ensure a smooth transition to school. A good transition means children start school ready to learn and schools are better prepared. The new transition to school statement will make the process even smoother. The statement offers, for the first time, a common format for early childhood educators and families to provide important information to schools about the children entering their kindergarten classes. Parents will have the opportunity to provide their perspective on their child's early learning and development, and children too will have the chance to give their own input. Early childhood educators will take the lead in completing the statement in cooperation with families.
To conclude, assessment and evaluation are important to be conducted in the early childhood settings as it documents and makes a child's learning visible.
Thank you for listening, and here are the references that we used in this presentation.